Remember when I was in my stroke, when I woke up and the nurses, I'd only be awake for like 5-10 minutes, and the nurses would sit with me and they'd ask me questions specifically. They knew that I would, because I guess my son told them he likes to talk about this and like Native history or and music. Ask him about that or his childhood in Moose Factory. So the nurses would ask me questions, and I'd go on and on and on and on, and then go back to sleep. So I woke up talking about myself. And here we are after COVID. My goodness, that was hard for me because Ottawa is such a huge city, and me and my son hardly don't know anybody in Ottawa. So we'd made our way together, though. We hung on tight, and we didn't have too much difficulty. We just worked together and cooperated and shared the same space during lockdown, and nothing too eventful occurred. We did some music gigs towards the end of the COVID lockdown. We went to Ganasatake. We played at the Land Back Powwow. That was wonderful. And then we did a big benefit for Tony Belcourt and his friends. My son and I were involved in what was happening on Parliament Hill, where the Moccasins were laid out. And then the first night the Moccasins were laid out, we paced around the flame all night. We wouldn't allow any police to come there and take those moccasins. I was standing at my window one cold and cloudy day when I saw that Kirkstone rolling go to carry my brother away. So it turned into a vigil for 2 months. Those moccasins were there, and Every Child Matters was a result, and me and my son were a part of that. And that was very, very, very difficult. And that was the reason I did that, was because we never even seen any of our people in such a long time. So we were going a little stir crazy for sure. So when that opportunity came to participate in having a presence on Parliament Hill, my son and I did everything we could to help all the residential school survivors that had come to the flame, and all the Canadian citizens that come to the flame, to leave stuffies and moccasins. It's just something I do as a helper. I'm trying to ease all the suffering that we're feeling. It was horrendous being a residential school survivor and finding out the reason for my dysfunction is now a nationally known or globally known shame, Canada's shame, you know? And that was my childhood. And now I am an elder. What's it like to be, well, not an elder, but like an older musician now, and I do things differently now that I'm older. And it's nice to be treated with some regard as as an older musician. I've been around the block a few dozen times now, so it's nice to be able to have that experience, I suppose. To speak with some humility and wisdom is nice.
I keep you on my mind both day and night. And happiness that I've known proves that it's right. Because you're mine, I walk the line.
Growing up in Moose Factory, where I was from, there was a lot of music. So I grew up hearing singers and guitar players and fiddlers that were very good and talented and were popular. Everybody knew who they were. And at community events, so they'd share their music. And I just enjoyed seeing that when I was a kid. That's where my childhood was very music oriented.
Well, I hear the train coming, it's rolling around the bend. I ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when, 'cause I'm stuck in Folsom Prison. Time keeps dragging on.
Being from a traditional northern community was very unique. It was a blessing. I remember traveling on the land with my grandfather in a bow and a tent and hunting geese and trapping and stuff like that. I was a little small boy.
Told me, son, always be a good boy, don't you ever play with guns. But I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die.
I got sent to high school in North Bay in the early 80s, and I lived in boarding homes with a bunch of other kids from my reserve too. We all got sent to North Bay. We wanted to pursue a higher education. That's the only reason we left. And then my friend had a band that would let me play on weekends. Excursions throughout Ottawa in a solitary way for 5-6 years, and then COVID happened. So it's like been 10 years of COVID really since my stroke. It's 10 years ago. So it's been 10 long years of life in Ottawa, just be engaged. So that's where mental health was, we fell through the cracks because nobody kind of believed us because I'm so articulate and he doesn't speak at all. So it looks like a hustle. It looked like a street hustle. The old man does all the talking and then he makes the boy doesn't say nothing. And because we're so grassroots and seemingly fearless, people just assume we're involved in the underground cultures of drugs and the sex trade and stuff like that. Because all of our friends were street people. So I call it the stain of the street. If you associate with the people from the street culture, people are going to assume you're like that too.
Cry, cry, cry. I showed the clouds how to cover up a clear blue sky. And those tears of cry for that woman, they're gonna flood you big river. And I'm gonna sit right here until I die. Yeah, I'm gonna sit right here until the day I die. A little song I call Free Beer for Life.